So Dan is going to be joining us on stage today. Dan, obviously, as you know, he's been on my podcast, I believe, previously as well, did very, very well on that episode. He's a funded trader. He is Mr. Me versus me, you versus you. He's Mr. Wannabe Champ. He is Dan Cheung. Welcome to the stage.
Oh, that's a tune. Hello. Is this working? Whoa. How's it going, people? You good? That's really dead. How you guys doing? Bro, I don't want to fall asleep, so you guys got to make sure you stay with me, man. These lights are fucking blinded. So I'm going to try my best not to waffle too much, but before I start any of this, I kind of want to get a feel for the room. So I have like 3 tiers. So beginner is like you kind of just got into trading, you're kind of figuring it out, you maybe losing money, don't really know, you're just figuring it out. Intermediate, you've had a bit of a payout, you're breaking even stage, but you know if you consistently do it, you're going to do it. And then advanced is like, okay, cool, I'm sick of this. I'm murking it. I'm just here just to network. So if you're a beginner, can you put your hands up? Just so I know how to tailor this a little bit more. All right. In higher, I can't fucking see. These lights are so fucking blinding. Intermediate. Okay, cool, sweet. That's a really, really, really good spot. Advanced. Drew, you didn't put your hand up for any of them. No. You don't get the special one. Only I do. Okay, cool. So now I know how to kind of tailor this a little bit more. So my name's Dan Cheung. I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction of who I am, just in case you don't know who the fuck I am. And then I'm going to go into, can you turn the lights down just a tiny bit? Because I'm like blind with this. Just to kind of set the stone of my journey, because the thing is, I'm normal, man. Like, I feel like with these like Riz, the Gooch, and all of this kind of stuff, we're all just hella normal. We all got our own journeys. We all got our own fucking problems. We all got our own story. Just keep fighting and fighting and fighting. An event like this is just awesome. You know, when I first started, I didn't have a chance to kind of network like this. So there was a beginner, you can, network with an intermediate. There's a lot of intermediates. So now you can kind of make a group and find out that plan even faster and get to that advanced stage even quicker. Because that's the goal, right? It's just to kind of be completely free. So in terms of the prop side, we got to 2.5 million funding, which was pretty sick. And then we deal with angel investing, real estate, business, and all this kind of malarkey of what my life is. But I think the most important part of this is I'm the father, I'm the dad I never got to be, never had actually, sorry, the dad I never had, and I think that's the best thing. And in order to live that life of being the father I never had, money's a big game of it, right? So that's why trading kind of came into the play. So how did I build all this? Adversity. All of you guys are going through adversity, especially in the intermediate stage, right? You've got through that, what's a pip, how to fucking trade, how to make money. Now you've got prop firms and you fail a challenge, you make some money, you do a payout, and then you keep going through all of that. You do your setbacks, you keep going. Now, one really easy way that I like to set this is trading is like the gym. Like, everyone can get in shape. It's simple. Like, you get a personal trainer, he can get you there faster because you don't have to think, right, with the nutrition, the workout, and stuff like that. Bro, all you have to do is eat well, train hard, and you'll look sick. Fucking simple. It's like dead silent. I was hoping like, oh shit, yeah, yeah. But trading's the same thing, right? Trading is a never-ending battle of, like I said, I'm going to be using it a lot more because as much as I joke about it and we say me versus me, is actually I literally filled up with true passion, and I'm going to shove it down your throat at the end of this presentation. But it's about finding yourself, finding what works, how to improve, how to kind of take it to the next step, and how to keep improving, doing more of what's right and less of what's wrong. So, for example, if you're, genetically more pushing, and then you're on your legs, you train more legs to balance it out. In trading, for example, if you overtrade, that's your problem, then you need to journal on that. All right, then maybe just fuck off for the day. Maybe that's you need to think of an action that can stop you from doing that to improve. So that journey is stressful as fuck. So I just want to kind of take a moment to really appreciate that I kind of came out on the other side, because it is so stressful being in that stage of insanity, trading over and over again, not getting the results that you want, and just banging your fucking head, which is so painful. Right, scrap that. So trading. Why I got into trading. Trading to me is, I get to use this clicker. Woo. Tony Robbins defined this to me, and I generally did not know this when I first got into trading, and I live by it now, and it's freedom. That's the true reason why pretty much I'd say 99% of you in this room are here, is freedom. I don't give a fuck what level that fucking freedom is freedom. Right? It's doing what you want, when you want, how you want, with who you want. If I don't like a guy, I don't want to work with him. If I don't want to, it's like a boss, right? Like I had a job. I don't think there's anything wrong with a job. I actually loved my job when I first had it. It's my second job that the boss was a knobhead, and I fucking hate that, all right? I didn't want to go into work. I wanted to finish early on Friday, give him back on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday he's like, nah, you still need to stay till 5. I'm like, bro, what? How does that even like make sense? I've hit my target, I've done everything, but you want me to sit for another 2 hours just to fiddle my thumbs and waste my time? And then that's when I realized it really, like, fuck that. Like, I need to do for myself, okay? And that's what you really need to understand that. And why have I highlighted this is because you need to understand the root of why you're doing it. Otherwise, it's really easy to give up. It's really, 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 really easy to give up because it's fucking stressful, right? Trading is, I don't want to say it's the hardest industry because it's not fair to like brain surgeons and all that shit. But I think the problem with why people always say that with trading is because it's me versus me. And a lot of the thing is you have to be accountable. You're the fucking one clicking the button. You're the one doing the trading. You're the one at this event. You're the one who's going to network. You're the one, it's the same thing. Like you're all listening, but who, like there's a paper right there, right? Write some fucking notes. And especially in the intermediate, because there was a lot of people at the beginner and intermediate, you want to think, okay, cool. What can I take away from this? What can I do to benefit me? And how can I be the best version of myself? It's as simple as that. Right? That's the way to kind of do it. So to be vulnerable for it is, for me, is my kids, right? So they don't have to suffer like I did. There's 7 steps of why. So this is like a first lesson. Did people want to write some stuff? But this is the 7 steps of why, which I want to start with is, why do you want to get into trading? Right? And I'll go first, and you can do this for yourself. So why did I get into trading? I wanted to make money. Why do I want to make money? Well, I want to be free. Why do I want to be free? Because I want to do what the fuck I want. Why do I want to do what the fuck I want? Well, really and truly, actually, I don't want my kids to suffer. And if anything, and it goes deep, right? I see my mum, she was a single mum, working 3 jobs to make it happen. I don't want my family to experience the same thing. So if you have that why, and that hurts, that still hurts now. And if you have that pain, it kind of never, ever, ever goes away, but you accept it and you do something about it. Rather than blaming other people, blaming the situation. Oh, that they didn't pay me out. I got slipped on NFP or blah, 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 blah. Whatever the fucking excuse is. Like, okay, cool, it happened. Like, move, next. What's happening next? And it's the same thing for my mum, right? My mum had a hard first part, hard second part, but if it's in my fucking control, she's not going to have a hard third part. Right, trading. I think I want to skip onto this bit and go straight into prop firms because I want to go into like the ego and stuff like that. Now, with my trading, I kind of was profitable before I came into prop firms. Now, before and why I kind of went into prop firms, and I think which is so sick, is it gives us an opportunity. I was just speaking to a brother there, sorry, I forgot your name. What was your name? Mez. Okay, cool. But he was telling me, how much you get in payouts again? 4 payouts, right? And then how much did you invest in challenges? 2 grand. Okay, cool. But you got paid out every single month from there. And how much is the challenge you bought? What size of the challenge? And how much is that? Like, fucking, I don't know. Okay, so you spent $197 for an opportunity to make 2K. It sounds like a scam. I feel like, are you guys ready? Sign up for this, sign up for that. But it's not. That's the craziest thing. But it's not. It generally isn't. If you have the skill, it doesn't matter. You can trade with a prop firm. You can trade with your personal capital. You can trade with funds. You can raise capital, private equity. It's all the same shit. You're just turning money into more money, but you're doing risk management. And that's the best things about prop firms as well, which when I first came into it, I didn't like the time. I don't know if you guys, anyone remember like the 30-day rule with FTMO? No hands? No? Am I just old? There you go. Yeah, okay. That was stupid, right? Because then you're forcing yourself to make 10% in a condition that might not pay you. Whereas now there's no time frame, so there literally is an abundance, literally the word abundance, that could give you an opportunity to make that money from trading. So with that, my view being is, I had a 6-figure personal account, and I thought to myself, well, technically, okay, if we do the math right on Alpha Capital, or if they had a 100K account, there's 10% drawdown, technically it's 10K. If you had 10 of those accounts, then I have 100K to play with. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? No? People? Yes? Yes? There we go. We're alive. So that being said, there's an opportunity. But the best thing about this is my 100K is not liquid in the broker, and if that broker goes whatever, which to be fair, they shouldn't anyway, it's not all at risk. But if I have $1 million in challenges, it's only in my sign-up fee. And the craziest thing on that sign-up fee is you get them refunded. That sounds mad, doesn't it? It honestly sounds crazy. So I get refunded, I still have 100K to play with, and I can still make a decent return from that. And that's it. Like if you do 3% a month on $1 million, you could do like 30K a month. Like, would 30K a month do well for you guys? Would you like that? Yeah, but there you go, so scalability. But the problem with that is obviously, yes, that sounds all hunky-dory, but it takes time. It takes time to build there. You're not going to make 30K now. And this goes into the respect and stuff I'll talk about as we go through. So, fuck you, money. I wanted to start with this because I think this is really important. This, yet again, have a plan of action and figure yourself out. Now, everyone in here is different. Everyone has a different risk tolerance. Everyone has a different amount of money that they need, and everyone has a different amount of lifestyle that they have. So there's a book called Fuck You Money by Dan Locke, and it's really good because it helps you understand how much money you need to live on a fuck you lifestyle. And it's actually not as crazy as you think, right? And once you have that, you'll have your number. And once you have your number, guess what? You can work back. So let's play a game. Let's say 120K you need in a year. That's 10K a month, just ideally. Well, okay, I need to make 120K. How can I make 120K? If I do 100K challenge, I do 10% a month. There you go, that's 10K a month. Or, guess what? If I do a million, I'll do 1% a month, right? Then I'm doing 10K and then I've done 120K, which is doable. And then, guess what? Now I have to plan. I don't have to do that today. I've got the rest of my life to do that. I think that's the biggest problem. Everyone's always chasing it to I want to do that 10K now, 10K tomorrow. Bro, you got your whole life. I've got my whole life. So doesn't that just slow things down and just make it a little bit less stressful? Yeah? No? Does that make sense, or did that go over people's heads? And thank you. Hey, we got a friend. Right. So with that, I kind of want to talk about, and Riz asked me about some of the challenges I went through when I came into it. So the worst thing is, just because I was a profitable trader on my private stuff doesn't mean I could trade prop. Okay, that was a big mistake. And that was due to my fucking ego. The number two was the worst one, is disrespecting money, where I think is really, really important, because that's how I made money in the first place. I compounded £5. Guess what? You do that 10 times, that's 50. 10 times again, 500, 5K, 50K, 500K. You don't make 500K without doing your £1. You have to be able to make a small amount before you make a bigger amount. Make sense? And my ego came in, but nah, I got this. You know what I mean? 100K challenge is not even my money. It's only £500. Who cares? And that was the problem. Already there, that conversation. I spent £500. Who cares? That's already the fucking problem. I had an ego because I was like, 10%, I could do that with my eyes closed. I still know I can do that. But I went into it with, I don't give a fuck about 500. But that was the biggest problem, the ego for me. And that's when you all have to understand is where is your ego? There's an ego to say okay, cool, me versus you, I'm gonna smash this guy. That's cool, that's fine. You can have that ego if you want to, because you have that. If you don't believe in yourself, who will? But there's also an ego, yeah, I'm gonna YOLO this, I'm gonna make shitloads of money and not have a plan and not follow it, and then that's when you keep losing. So I blew 20 challenges before I even made my first payout. And that's coming from a 2-year track record with equity. So that's coming from me, right? And that's just me being humble. I don't give a fuck if someone else can come in and do it. That's just me. I'm just here to tell you my story, right? It's as simple as that. And then that also goes into, well, okay, cool. If my ego's the problem, and this is what you got to do, right? You got to decipher it. If your ego is the problem, then you think, well, what else is the problem? Well, I'm not respecting £500 because I don't give a fuck about £500. But then again, back in the day, £500 was a dream to me, right? So then, if you think about it, if I now can respect the challenge of making, okay, cool, let's dumb it down, right? If I do a 100K account, if I do 1% for 2%, 1K for 2K, I just need 5 wins. That's all I need. Not 1K, and I'm going to try and make 10K on that one trade, which was kind of stupid because my goal was to try and pass that challenge as fast as possible, which was the problem, okay? And then that obviously led to me YOLOing that kind of shit. So, ego, you don't know shit. Still to this day, I don't know shit. Every single person in here, I can learn something from. So be it another language, so be it how to be a better human, better father, better something. I don't know shit. And at the same time, you don't know shit. That's exactly it. It's fair. We're all equal. Disrespecting, respect. Got to respect the money. $100 is still $100. The same thing with a payout. Out of interest, I don't know, because this is what changed me, right? Who got a payout and then blew it? Well, he's honest. Hey, Riz Burgundy. What about the Gooch? The Gooch never does. And the problem with that is the same thing. I had 21K on my first payout, and I didn't take it because I was like, I could turn this into 100. And then my dumb ass blew all of that. And then that's where it all changed, because I learnt my lesson. It's bro, 21K is more than enough. That's actually a year's salary for a lot of people. And guess what? That goes back to my problem, my ego, my disrespecting. Who the fuck am I to say 21K is not enough? My $100 is actually more than enough. Guess what? $100 can pay for the internet, it can pay for this, it can pay for that. You gotta respect the small money, okay? So, let's give you some action points, okay? So, intermediate, guys, is you wanna find a challenge that is really, really comfortable for you. Okay, so a 10K, 25K, 50K, I don't know, I don't care. Find something that's really, really comfortable for you, that number doesn't affect you at all. So if you make For me, it's 50K. And the reason 50K is, I don't know why, it's just a really, really sweet spot. So back then, making 10% 5K, I was really, really okay with that. Like, that number just, I was very comfortable with. And everyone's number is different. So once you have that challenge and you figured it out, break it down. Because when you have a clear plan, doesn't it make things a lot more easier? So it's like, okay, cool, I want to get in shape. Well, if you want to get in shape, you've got this workout plan and this nutrition, I guarantee if you follow this for a year, you'll be better than when you first started. You'll be like, shit, I got this shit. It's the same thing with trading. So what's the plan? I bought a challenge. Well, if I bought a challenge, okay, well, what's the risk appetite? How many trades am I looking for? How much am I making for it? Like, the difference between prop is, I just think it's insane for the risk to reward. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people who've been on podcasts, and you can see them all on Riz and whatnot. Like, you can invest literally like 10K and then make 100K. That's just mad. That's insanity. Literally, mad numbers. I just still think that's crazy. You can't do that. Like, try doing a 10K in a broker account and try and flip that to 100 without blowing it and never having an opportunity again. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's crazy. So with that, what I have is I have a breakdown. So if you have a 1 to 2R, literally 1%, if I win 5 trades in a row and I hit 10% target, then I pass it. Obviously, they've got 8%, so 4 trades and a winning. I passed on phase 1. But then you also have dynamic risk ratio. So I have like a full plan, which I won't go into full details, but what I want you guys to do and think about is, okay, if I risk 1%, if you're in a losing streak, you need to limit your losses, and you obviously increase the wins, right? So if you limit your losses, if you lose 5 times in a row, you drop the risk, you drop the risk, you drop the risk. And the reason is because then you have a buffer to slowly crawl it back. And then when you get back into that bracket zone, you increase again. So for example, you're in 5% drawdown, you drop to 0.5%. I can use this pointer, 0.5%. And then if you lose 5 trades again, that's minus 2.5, you drop again, 0.25. So the whole total of this, if you want to take a photo or whatnot, is 20 trades. So if you lose 20 trades in a row, you'll blow your account. Okay? So if you got to think about it, like theoretically, if you lose 20 trades in a row, you're definitely doing something wrong. Either the edge is shit, you're overtrading, or you're over-risking. Because it's just a probability, it's an equity, right? Life and anything in any investment, equity is always like a slow up. So let's give you some more action plan. Basically, this is one of my to-do lists that really helped me with trading. Okay, so when I struggle with the egos and stuff like that, and any time I take a break from trading, is I strip it back. And what do you strip it back to? Your strategy. What is your strategy? I genuinely believe if you can't explain your strategy, you don't know it. It's fucking crazy. It's like, how does a bike work? Oh yeah, it just works. Well, you don't know how a fucking bike works. You know what I mean? So you need to know your strategy. So what is your strategy? Mine is obviously identifying a point A to B, a continuation, and I wait for a pattern A in the time zone that I'm trading in, which is between 11 and 1. And then it's simple. I plan my trade and trade my plan. Have moving averages in favor, Heikin Ashi's changing over, and then join for the continuation. Now, that may go over, but to me, it makes loads of sense. And if I actually showed you and break it down and showed you with a chart, that would make total sense. So if you don't understand it, you need to understand it clearer. So your strategy write-up, tick boxes. Bro, let's just dumb it down. Make it so simple. Like when you come in, what time are you coming in? What are you trading? When? What is the risk? What challenge? What am I doing? What's going next? If you have that clarity, you have that plan, you have everything, you just need to do. It's like, I love that Instagram. Consistency. That's it. That's just life in general, right? Consistency. That's just life. So if you have your tick boxes, then you know consistently, if I stick to these tick boxes, and if this comes in on my back testing and my rules, I can follow these, and then that's how I can obviously identify my trades and my setup. Make sense? Yeah? Hey, some people are still alive. Trading mantra. Okay, this one's really cool. This one's really cool. This mantra is to help me stop being a twat. Because I know you can feel that pain. I definitely overtrade. I still have that problem. It may not be as bad as it used to. So for example, like 10 trades in a day or something like that. But my maximum is 2, but I could do 4 or even 6. It happens, bro. I'm human. I don't care what you guys, oh, but he's a professional trader. He shouldn't overtrade. He should be disciplined. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. I should do what I'm supposed to do, but I don't do it. We're human. Do you know what I mean? I'm human. It's exactly that. So the mantra is actually really cool. So if there's actually like highlights of a few things, this is definitely one of them to take away, is to write down what you're going to do if you make a mistake. So if I have an overtrading, guess what? Shut the laptop, go to the gym, or go out and do something. Why? Because if I go away, I can clear my mind. If I go away, I'm busy with something else. I don't overtrade, I don't do anything else, I go away. If I shut my laptop, it stops me looking at the market. If I shut my laptop, I don't. This is the worst feeling in trading, and probably you guys know, when you take 3 trades, it hits stop loss, and then the 4th one goes in your favor, and then goes, this guy's nodding, he's like, fuck, oh my God, PTSD or that. And have you guys felt that? Yeah? That's painful. But that's the market, like 50-50. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. Because what about the time when you did catch it? Do you know what I mean? That would have been wicked, but you weren't obviously super emotional about that as opposed to missing the trade. So the best way is to have a mantra, understand what it is. Next step is a flowchart, which I'll show you in the next slide, and then a journal setup. I think journaling is key, and then having accountability, and the best thing is to do sample tests, right? So when you're doing sample tests and things like that, you want to be, it's not back testing, okay? Back testing is completely different. Sample testing is reps. Reps is basically finding and identifying that pattern over and over and over and over again so that you become numb and you just execute on that pattern. So it's the same thing, like when someone slips, you just smack them in the face if you're a fighter or whatnot, okay? So it's just that pattern that you recognize. So this flowchart here is just really easy. It just helps you identify your life a little bit better, okay? So you want to think to yourself, okay, awesome. I want to wake, I'm going to plan out my 2 trades, pick a pair. What is the confluences that I need? So obviously 4 hours and 30 minutes in favor, at least 1 to 3 hours. Doesn't mean I take a trade to 1 to 3. It just, do you know what I mean? When there's room, but I only take it to 1 to 2. Because I know this sounds so dumb, but for a trade to go to 1 to 3, it has to go past 1 to 2. Did that make sense? I don't know if guys figured it out, but it's a mind-blowing thing. And with that being said, but having that, doesn't that mean there's a higher opportunity to hit that 2R, right? So if there's a space or a zone, say like gold recently, there was a huge drop-off, that gives it that space, it could be like a 1 to 10R. Getting a 2R is very, very high probability. So then you can identify that. Then obviously I have my breakdowns of my legs, and then stop after 2 trades, and then post-market analysis or whatever it is that you guys want to have. Journaling can't measure what you don't manage. At the end of the day, if you don't know what you're doing, how the fuck are you going to improve? And the best way is to write that down and take a step from that. What I will say is actually, to summarize this bit, is taking a break is probably one of the best things you can do in trading. That's actually so tough to do, though. It is so, I mean, I just told Fari that recently, right, Fari? Hey, taking a break. You've got to take a break. And there's a hedge fund guy that I met in Mayfair when I was there, and he was literally telling me that he was able to make a substantial amount of money within 3 weeks, and he owns the hedge fund. And the same thing, he was forced to take a break for 3 weeks. And that stops you from overtrading, it stops you from doing things you shouldn't be doing, and you just get a time to recalibrate. Because guess what? Time heals everything, including in trading. You know, when you're sitting there and it doesn't work out and things like that. Just have a bit of time to kind of heal. Right, I'm going to wrap this up so we can have some questions, if you guys do, and you're still awake. Is failure is a part of success. I don't know why we have don't touch the fire, but it's, oh shit. Failure is a part of success. And success for me is self-defined. It's about becoming the person that you said you would become. Like, I actually wholeheartedly believe this, and this is where I kind of waffle to you guys, because this is the bit that I love the best, is that a man's word, person's word, or what the fuck it is that you got to stick to it. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Because if not, then what's the point of living? Like, I just don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, I get that people are different, but I just cognitively can't understand it. I said I'm going to be at the gym at 10, but I don't go every day. Then why the fuck did you say it? Like why? Like, it just makes no sense. So if all of you guys said you're going to be a trader and you genuinely mean it, then why are you not doing everything you fucking can? Then this goes into the last bit of me versus me is, it's cool, social media, like even maybe like my life, I don't even know anymore, but like you look at Instagram, it can seem a certain type of way, but I'm just human. I got my own problems, you got your own problems. The biggest thing is I'm just trying to improve every single day to become the best version of myself and create Dan like at 35, 40, 45 and 50. And that's the same for all of you guys. You're just trying to create that person. So if you're trying to create that person, you must remember it's a you versus you game, and that you have to do everything in your power, everything, ethically, right? Because don't be stupid about doing other things, and achieve it. All right? Make sense? Yeah. Thank you for your time. I tried to. Oh, thank you. So I tried to wrap it up early because I think questions are good. So if you have a question, raise your hand. If you don't, then I will run away. Tell me, oh, hey, you don't get a question. No, joking. Tell me.
So this week I was 0.01% away from, oh, there we go, from passing a 200K challenge. So some people ask, they'll say, right, just risk 1%, risk 2K to make $150. Or do you think you go with risk $150 to make $150 pass the challenge, but then in the back of your mind, you've got like 6, 7 trades.
Yeah.
If you just go for a 1-to-1 to pass the challenge. So just wondering, what's your opinion on that and what would you do?
So to summarize that, 0.1% away, how do I pass it? What would I do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, really and truly, I would still take the trade setup, but obviously just drop the risk because you're so close to fucking passing, right? The last thing you want to do is, I'm going to try and scalp this 0.2% and just YOLO this for 150. You can. Fuck it. If you want to do that, do that. But the problem I found, and I have done that, but the problem I find with that is because when you do that, you try and do it again in the future. So the problem is it instills bad habit. But guess what? Don't you think it would be better if you just find a probability setup and drop the risk? Because if you lose, you just have to double it again. Then you're 1% away, then cool, you just trade normally. That makes the most amount of sense to me.
Yeah, that's the approach I went with in the end, because I've done it before where I'm literally not even 0.5% away, you risk 1%, and then, I don't know, 3 days later, that's a failed challenge.
Yeah, exactly that. And that's the craziest thing. You can get so close and then just blow it because of these habits that you thought you could just, it's so close, and then you chased it, and then it will take everything away from you. The market will humble the fuck out of you.
Yeah, definitely.
Any more? No? Hey, go on. Oh, there's 2.
Do you approach the market differently during the summer because of the volatility drops?
I used to because obviously the summer the liquidity and volatility drops, but the same thing, journaling. The past 2 years, summers have been wicked. And then December, and I find this all through your data, right? Because if you carry on trading, it's like, this is working. Like, why should I stop and do that? But yeah, I used to. Now I don't. I just trade still in the summer.
So just as normal?
Yeah, just got to find what works for you. Because if the setups are still there, because in the summer last year and the year before, DAX was still correlating, so we're still making higher highs and higher lows because of the yen weakening. And the setups are there, so I just continue trading. It's just free money for me at that time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
And dude over there. And then we'll do one last one after that.
Thank you. Hi, Dan. Just want to say that 2.5 million AUM is very impressive. And I wanted to ask that when you are in the evaluation phase, do you, say, for example, have a time limit in how long you, for example, is too long to be in a challenge phase? For example, recently, I just passed an account where I was in the challenge phase for about 6 months. So is that too long for you? And if that does happen, then do you increase the risk, or what do you do in that situation?
Have you been funded before?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and do you have money spare? Like, is that challenge mean a lot to you, or?
No. It's
okay,
not
cool.
money.
So the reason I asked that is there's 2 things. This is the problem. I got stuck on 600K and I was rotating for a long time. Why? Because I was trading the challenges really seriously, and it takes fucking forever to pass them. If you trade them seriously, it could take like 2, 3 months, 6 months. And the problem with that is it's not really appetizing, right? Because I've got to take 6 months to potentially make 20K, and it's fuck all, really and truly. In the long run, okay, respect money, Dan. But the point is, I could put that money elsewhere. It's the opportunity cost. That's the difference. So with challenges, ultimately, I find that I've tried to keep it within a 3 month. Other than that, it's just the cost of my time and the cost of my energy, but I try and keep it to be passed within 3 months. That's how I would generally do it. I mean, I think your first challenge, I don't care if it takes a year, you have to prove it to yourself. After that, whatever. Especially if the money doesn't matter, right? Because it's a cost of opportunity.
Yeah, thank
cool.
you. Appreciate
Final
it.
question? I think I saw one last one. Is there anyone? Go, last one. And it would dip.
I'm on my way, mate.
Chop, chop.
So I was in a similar position to yourself where I was funded and I made about 22K, and then I basically just like blew the account, had like a 7K payout, and it's taken me like 2 years to kind of get back to that point, and it's still like I'm kind of struggling to get there. So my question is, what did you do like specifically to actually help you overcome those things? Because it's like I'm kind of like self-sabotaging in a way, if that makes sense.
How did that feel?
It's kind of like I'm just self-sabotaging, do you know what I mean? So it's like,
How did you
I'm
feel
I'm
losing
making.
that
It's like I
22K?
know I'm making those mistakes. So then it's like I'm beating myself up for making those mistakes, and it's like I can't kind of forgive myself, kind of thing. So it's like that deep self kind of sabotage, if that makes sense.
How long ago was that?
This was like 2 years ago, and it's like I've been trying to just overcome all of those
That's
obstacles.
a long fucking time.
Yeah.
22. How did you feel when you lost that 22K?
Oh shit.
Yeah. How shit?
Very shit.
Like depressed, happy? Sad?
Yeah. Like it started bringing on like depression, anxiety, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's legit. I understand that. But that's also the problem you have now because you're holding on to it. So anxiety is like a massive thing I deal with. It's just because it's massively overwhelming. I don't think there's a cure to all of this shit. I think you just have to understand yourself. That's my take. You can take all the fucking pills in the world, whatever. And I'm just trying to share with you because you're asking me. You have to accept it. I think that the first level is accepting, like, well, that's my fucking problem. I still feel shit about it. And the second problem you have is now because that pain is so deep and ingrained, you're afraid to make it again, which then also stops you from growing. And if it stops you from growing, it also stops you from achieving what you got to do, because 2 years is a long time. Because the thing is, it worked. You already got the payout. And then you were a dickhead about it, and then you got scared about it, and now you're just stuck. So what I would suggest, and what I did, okay, I'll tell you what I suggest, and I'll tell you what I did. I suggest you obviously accept it, journal, right? There's nothing better than writing your feelings out and writing everything over, because once it's all out, it's like weight off your fucking shoulders. And then when it's off your shoulders, then you can find and write a plan. Like everything I had earlier there was just a plan, right? Like plan of like what you need to do and things like that. Once you've written that all out, then take action on that plan and just take it easy. Like just do a K consistently, then 5K, then 10K, and then run it up. Forget that 22K. That's in the past, man. That's the old you, now that's the new you. All right?
Thank you.
Sorry for overrunning.